YouTube Nation, what is up? Eagles Truth here with you. And so the Eagles are going to sit Saquon Barkley. I don't know about you guys. I'm not just disappointed. I'm pissed. I'm absolutely pissed. And I can't believe we're playing this scared. Everyone's sitting there saying, oh, well, what if he gets hurt? What if he gets hurt? Really? You know, football players play. That's what they do. That's what they're trained for all their lives, to play. And we used Saquon Barkley all season long. Used him. Giving him 300 and however many carries he got, like 340 carries or whatever he's got right now. And just riding him. And this is how we repay him? This is how we repay him. He's busted his ass for us all season long. And this is how we repay him. You know damn well he's an unselfish player. He's going to say all the right things. But you can tell in the interviews he's disappointed. You can tell in his voice he's disappointed that he wanted to go for it. He is 101 yards away from breaking a record that stood for 40 years. And people want to say, well, it doesn't really count because now the season's 17 games, he's had an extra game to do it. I don't care how many games it's taken a player to do something. I care how many carries. You know, he's like 34, and I might be wrong, but it's 30-something. He's like 34 carries shy of Eric Dickerson. I don't know about you, but I don't think it's going to take 34 carries to get 101 yards. So to me, yeah, he had an extra game to do it, but he also did it. He would also do it in less carries. To me, that's what matters, because that's less attempts. You got more yards with less attempts. To me, that's what matters. And look, the record holder before Eric Dickerson was O.J. Simpson with 2,003 yards. He did it in 14 games. But no one mentions that. And look, I know they're eventually going to go to 18 games at some point. You know, and that brings me to my next point. People want to say, well, look, it's good enough. He joined the 2000 club with the 8 other players, and those are good players. Adrian Peterson, Derrick Henry, Jamal Lewis, Eric Dickerson, who else? CJ2K, Chris Johnson. That's 6. I don't even know the other 3 people. I'm trying to think. But the point is, I understand in over the 100 years of NFL football, to join a group that's now 9 long is still impressive. But it's still 9. Pretty soon it's going to be 10 and 11 and 12 and 13. Like, when they go to 18 games, more people are going to get 2K yards. More people are going to do it. And I know he did it in 16, but still, like, no one's going to sit there and pick apart that. It's going to be a list that's like 15, 16, 17 players long because we're at 18 games now. So, to me, 2K, 2000, it's super impressive. It's still not enough. He is 101 yards shy. He could do that in 15 carries. He could do that in a half. And what's even more, it's against the team that let him go, that didn't pay him. Do you know how sweet that is? To do it against your former team? It is set up perfectly. You have a chance to break the single season rushing record after a team lets you go that you gave everything for. It's at your home place, so the fans and the Eagles fans gets to enjoy and applaud you, but it's also against your former team. It's like set up perfectly. And we're worried because, we play. Right now, it's the Packers, but we'll see what it is. But it'll either be the Packers or the Commanders, depending on how teams whoever finishes at that 7th seed spot. Right now, it's the Packers. Because we face a team 6 or 7 days later. You're so worried about injury. Like, to me, that's playing scared. That's playing, like Dan Campbell, the freaking head coach of the Lions, he had nothing to play for last week. Nothing. Whether he lost against the 49ers or beat the 49ers. The number 1 seed is still going to be on the line when he plays the Vikings this coming week. So last week was nothing, but he still played all his guys. There was no record or anything. He just wanted to stay aggressive. I don't know, man. There's a chance where you start worrying about rust. Jalen Hurts, he was in the concussion protocol. He got hurt in the first quarter, early in the first quarter, like 2 weeks ago. Didn't play last week, didn't play this week. Now he's not going to play this coming week. He's basically 3 weeks of not playing. He's already not the best pocket passer on our team. I think Tanner McKee, the guy that we're going to see against the Giants, is. Now he's not going to be throwing to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. He's going to be throwing to backups. But I think he's the best pocket passer on our team. Jalen Hurts is not a great pocket passer. Last thing we need him to be is rusty. I think it's such a disrespect to Barkley to not give him this. The guy that you've been riding all season long. The guy you've been riding all fucking season long. And here's the thing. This is where people are going to like tune out and not listen to me. But if you really take a step back and think about it, there is a Super Bowl champion every fucking year. Who won the Super Bowl 40 years ago in 1984? Anybody know? Unless it was your team that won the Super Bowl or it was your team that lost that Super Bowl, you're not going to know. You're not going to know. But I can tell you who set the rushing record that year. Eric Dickerson. Super Bowl champs, they come and go. Who won the Super Bowl 7 years ago? 8 years ago? It starts to get hard to think. Super Bowl champions are had every year. And you know what? I cried. I cried like a little girl when my Eagles finally won their first Super Bowl in 2017. I just couldn't believe it. I cried. I'm like, oh my God, we did it. We finally fucking did it. Holy shit. The NFL fucking like turned the page like 2 or 3 days later. Like a day after our parade, it was done. They're talking about college and the draft and the NFL Combine and what head coaches are being hired where. Very little about the Eagles being the best of the best. Like, it moved on so quickly. This record will stand the test of time for a while. Yeah, we're going to go to 18 games eventually, so someone might break it in 10, 15, 20 years, I don't know. But that record is going to be there for a long fucking time. To me, and I'm even at fault for this, because if you ask me right now, would you rather have Saquon have the record or the Super Bowl? And again, they're not mutually exclusive. You could do both. But if you asked me and I had to pick one, I'd probably still say the Super Bowl. So I'm just as guilty as what I'm accusing all of you guys of being. But if we step back, shouldn't the record be more important? That's what's going to be remembered longer. No one's going to remember the Eagles won the Super Bowl 10 years from now, except the Eagles and the team we beat. That's it. No one's going to really remember. So why do we make it so much more important than this record that stood for 40 fucking years? Look, sports are about moments. It's not just about the championship. It's about moments. Everybody to this day remembers that Odell Beckham one-handed catch. Everyone's going to remember the time when Saquon Barkley hurdled a man backwards. Sports, there's the thing called the theater of sports. It's like a drama. You tune in to see something that you never see before. I just think the Eagles are doing a disservice to Saquon, to the offensive line, the team, the fans. I am appalled by this decision. Fucking appalled. I was mad when Chip Kelly pulled Nick Foles in 2013 when he was playing the Raiders. It was the third quarter. It was probably halfway through the third quarter, and Nick Foles had 7 touchdown passes. No one's thrown 8, and he had a quarter and a half to do it. And the way the Eagles were having their way with the Raiders, he could have done it. That was history that you just robbed, not from just him, but from the fan base. I'm so tired of we putting the Super Bowl above everything. Think about it. There's a Super Bowl champion every year. If we win the Super Bowl, it's not going to mean a damn thing a year from now. Why do we do this? And yes, I'm going to root like hell for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl because it's going to be a happy moment. But it's going to be a moment. It's not going to, it'll go down the record books for that year, but it's not going to be like, it's not going to be a forever thing. Like, if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, are they going to, like, what are they the best of? We're the best of this year. Saquon Barkley has a chance to clamp himself as the best of all time. It's just different. I fucking hell. You're okay with Saquon Barkley because Nick Sirianni went to Saquon Barkley in the Giants game when he had like 170 some yards rushing, or 160 some yards. He was like 12 or 18 or something like that away from his career high at the time. Now later against the Rams, he would break it because he rushed for 255 yards. His all-time high before that was like 180 something yards. And Saquon Barkley in the fourth quarter went to him and was like, hey, I would love for you to get that. You're like 13 yards away from your career high. I'd love for you to get that, blah, blah, blah. You want to stay in? And Barkley's like, nah, let the young boys eat. Right? So you're cool with him staying in the game and risking injury for a personal high, but you're not okay with playing him for the all-time high in a season. I'm appalled by this decision. Every moron that says, oh, it's a smart decision, we don't want him to get hurt. You're playing scared, man. He could get hurt the first carry of the playoff game. And I tell you what, the Eagles better win the Super Bowl, because if we end up with nothing, no Super Bowl and no record, fuck you. Fuck whoever made that decision, whether it's Sirianni, whether it's Jeffrey Lurie or Howie Roseman, whoever made that decision, fuck you. You took something so special away. That's why this fan base can never have anything, because you just fucking shit on it. I mean, I would not have dreamed of Saquon Barkley in his first year with the Eagles to have a chance to break the single season rushing record, a record that stood for 40 years, a record that only 3 people have done. I forget who said it the first time. I forget the first guy. But then OJ beat him, and then Eric Dickerson beat him. I mean, it's not very many people that's ever in their lifetime been able to say that they've had the single season rushing record. And then I hear this. Oh, you know, if they played and then freaking Barkley got hurt, you'd be the first ones. No, I'm not, because I want him to play. What am I going to do? Sit there and bitch at a coach and, fire his ass when I had the same when I wanted that decision to be made? Like, you think people act like that? Maybe there's some idiots out there that are wishy-washy like that, but the far majority of people, if we wanted it to, if a head coach makes the decision that we want, he's pretty safe, and us anyway, not butchering him. I'm appalled. I'm appalled. I know they're not going to change their mind, but I keep hoping they change their mind before the game. Like, I'm appalled at it. Give him a half. Give him one half. You know, and if he's and if for whatever reason the Giants are selling out against the run, wide receivers running open everywhere because the Giants are like, no, you guys can win this game 100-0, throwing the ball through the air. We don't care. We're not going to have Saquon break the record on us. Fuck that. Blah, blah, blah. And he's got like 20 yards at halftime. Then fine, shut him down. But play him a half. Maybe he breaks one and it's like, holy shit. And if he's at like freaking 82 yards at halftime, then yeah, you play him into the second half because he's like 18 yards, 19 yards away. Give it a half. See what you got. I'm appalled. Oh my God, I'm appalled. You know, Jalen Hurts isn't going to play for like 3 weeks. So what's that going to look like against a team that can score, whether it be the Packers or the Commanders? Teams can score. I'm fucking appalled. I'm not just disappointed. I loathe this decision. I can't believe the Eagles organization would do this to Barkley. I can't believe they would do this. Like, there's some things in my mind, if you really think about it, this is actually bigger than the Super Bowl. And people are going to sit there and say, like, what? The Super Bowl is the goal every year, obviously. But guess what? The NFL is going to turn the page pretty quickly, and a new Super Bowl. Hopefully it's us again. I'd love to repeat. But if we win the Super Bowl, the NFL is going to turn the page, and there'll likely be another Super Bowl champion the following year, and then the following year, and then the following year. It just keeps going down the tracks. This is something that has some staying power. And that right, this is bigger than the Super Bowl. And you're just ignoring it. For what? To win a Super Bowl? To be this year's Super Bowl winner? What are we at now? 58, 59? Like, what Super Bowl are we at? I don't know. But it just keeps going and going and going and going. While yes, in the playoffs, I'll be rooting like crazy for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. And if they win the Super Bowl, I will be ecstatic. I'm not trying to say I won't be. But if we take a step back for a second, because we're so brainwashed into thinking the Super Bowl is everything, when it is. It's the championship of the calendar year. But the NFL moves so fast. It moves so fast. This has staying power, guys. Like, I'm just appalled. I'm just appalled. I think the organization is so brainwashed. This is something so big. But whatever. I guess go Tanner McKee and whoever our running back is against the Giants. Whatever. I'm out, guys. Bye.